Please read this disclaimer carefully before proceeding further. Welcome traders to this week's analysis of gold XAUUSD. Thanks for joining me here. My name is Vic. Gold had a little bit of confusing week for majority of the traders. So let's look at what it has been doing and what can we do. Before that, some of you have actually kind of given me feedback that the black background actually does not work for them. It's hard to see levels. But when I changed it to the white background, so lighter background, then I get a lot of complaints that it's too bright for eyes, so change it to black. So I'm going to try both and give me your feedback in the comment section. Let me know whichever is working for you, and I'm going to continue to use that. So for now, I'm sticking to black for this part of the analysis. Stay with me. So remember what we talked about in the last week analysis. If you have not gone through the previous week's analysis, in fact, actually, you should be watching last 2 weeks analysis to be able to understand what I'm about to say right now, because this is more of an update rather than full analysis. So what we have is actually a W pattern here, which has completed here. So when W pattern completes, the market goes down. So this is why I've been saying that I'm going to favor short positions even from here. And if the market goes a little bit higher around 1882, near about that level, I will still favor my short positions. So I had all the plan ready there, but there has been a little bit of confusion around here because the market was consolidating. And when that happens, usually you have to be extra careful. And I'll give you a reason for that. Previous week, we knew about this 1882 level, right? When the market is consolidating, even when the W pattern is complete, when all of these things are actually pointing out that, the market is supposed to go down and it is not going down, it's a good chance that market makers or market will probably just go back up and come back down and ultimately start to fall down. They will ultimately follow the plan, but they can just take out majority of the liquidity by creating a fake sentiment in the market and going to the higher level and then come back down. So that is why we have been taking it very very easy. We have not been taking huge positions in the gold market. We have been just playing around with little positions here and there. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. So this is how you should do. When you see the market conditions are not favorable, you should not be taking huge risks or long positions. When I say long position, not the buy position, but long term positions, right? The positions which are running for long period of time. Just get in and get out, right? That's how it should be. If the conditions are not favorable, the best option is to actually stay out. If you are not able to understand what the market is trying to do, just stay out, because you do not have to trade each and every candle, you do not have to trade each and every market, and you do not have to trade each and every day, right? You can take a break. You can take a break for a few hours, maybe for a few days, maybe a day or so. When the conditions are better, come back. Okay, so this is how you should control your trading. Now if I go to the daily time frame, this is what has been happening. The market has been kind of going sideways for some time. Remember when we were here last week, right? We were expecting it to go down. Okay, and it did go down. So personally, I was able to take few trades there, and then I took long. One of those trades actually was very very good. Even on Friday last week, I was able to take a trade, long trade, and other one was short, which actually did not work. So it's a mix of things. But initially, remember, our bias is still short on gold. It's just a matter of whether it goes slightly higher or not. That's the only thing left. If it actually goes slightly higher, we will have better chance of actually will have a better price and level to short it from. However, because the W pattern is already complete, it is going to go down. So it has already started to do that. I'm still not very convinced that it is going to continue to fall down. So that is why I'm not taking any swing positions as of now. So I've been playing around day trading and all that, short term trading, but I've not taken swing trades here because I'm still not convinced that it is ready to go down, even though all the indications are there. I still think that it can go back up to around 1882 or even higher than that. And especially there are few things which are running in the market, in overall market, if you should be aware of that. Even though you're not looking, I do not recommend looking at fundamentals and all that. I try to stay away from that. but I have I keep a broader picture on the market. So stock market has started to correct a little bit. Bitcoin is going down, so crypto market is slightly getting a little bit of correction. By the way, if you have not seen the Bitcoin analysis, then you can check it out on Telegram channel and other places as well. I've been sharing Bitcoin analysis very in depth and very often as well. So all of these markets are having little correction. So ultimately, the money which is getting released from there, right? People will be closing their positions if the fear starts to creep into these markets. Then all of that money can come into precious metals. It can come into gold as well. It can come into silver as well. So make sure that you are always managing your risk. So even if your analysis is telling you that it wants to go down and you're favoring your short positions, you should still be careful about managing your risk. So have a stop loss there and do not trade too much. Do not trade with big position sizes, because market conditions can change any moment in time. This is the last quarter of the year, and we are heading towards the end of the year, and conditions and other markets are changing right now. So be careful with that. So I have not taken any swing positions as of yet for it to go down. And even if it starts to go down, and if I miss that opportunity, I'm okay with that, because I'll be taking short term shorts or longs here along the way. But I'm not fully convinced that it is ready to go down full for a huge fall as of now, because one of the things is that it can still go back up to 1882, and that's why I've been looking at that on Thursday and Friday, and I've shared few posts there on my channel. So let me actually show you what has been happening. Okay, let's go to the 4 hour time frame. On 4 hour time frame, we had a lot of WNM patterns here, right? Even in fact, actually, if I go to the 1 hour time frame, there were a lot of WNM patterns which we were able to trade, and I've been sharing them in our FCP students room as well. So these have been absolutely brilliant trades to take, right? So some of those examples are like this one. So this is a W pattern. I took a short, it fell down, then it turned into M pattern. I was able to take this long all the way to this level. And when the market created this M pattern here, I was able to take long from here. Then this is where the Friday confusion started. Because market makers were kind of they were playing both sides. They were collecting stop losses here, they were collecting stop losses here, and then they created this fake fake sentiment that they wanted to go up, but ultimately towards the end of the Friday it actually fell down, right? So at this point in time, because it was already Friday, you should not have been looking into this position. And besides that, what I posted there in our Telegram group is this. Let me clean this up. Okay, we had two conditions there. So all of these levels were already there. So if you check our previous week's analysis, these levels were already there. Now, one thing that I mentioned here is there is a W pattern here. Okay, so this M pattern, this one, let me actually show you what I mean. So this M pattern worked out nicely. I was able to take this long position from here. Okay, I was able to take this long position also from here. So, but when I say this level is very important, this was very important. 1865 2009 209. I said if broken and confirmed, then it could go to 1870 level, which is this level. And if this was broken and confirmed, then it was going to 1882. Okay, why? Because that is an FCP zone and there is a gap left here as well. So, but this condition never actually came true. Okay, the market was never able to close above 1865, never was able to give us any confirmation. Hence, we could never take this long. We could never take this long. Instead, from 1865, it kept on falling and it fell all the way to 1844, which is fine. Okay, because now what we can do is if I clean this up. Okay, now I'm going to keep these levels there as they are, and this structure level is not necessary anymore. Okay, so right now this is how it is looking. So we have a lower level here, and this FCP zone, this structure zone, sorry, 1837, near about that. So this is what the game plan is going to be. I still expect that this can still be reached 1882 or even higher than that. So all these levels are there. Now what we have is this structure level here. This is kind of a structure level which the market is respecting right now. So If the market breaks through this level, and if I get a confirmation, then I will go for a short trade here into this zone around 1837, this particular zone, which runs all the way to 1827. So somewhere around here. And I will look for long position back into these levels here, 1844, 1853, and maybe in the middle here, somewhere around 1860. No, let me actually be little more specific. Let me put a line there so that I can give you a better level. So somewhere around 1858. Okay, so I will be looking for long from this zone. Okay, I'll be looking for a long if I get a confirmation into 1844, 1853, 1858, 1865, 1870, and at each of these levels, I will reassess the market conditions. So it is not going to be like, straight long right now, which is going all the way to this. Now, at each of these levels, because all of these levels can act as resistance, hence they can act as my profit target as well. So at each of these levels, I will be pausing and I'll be assessing my market conditions, and I will play in steps. And if it reaches there, then I'll look for short positions going back into these levels, acting as support and the profit targets. So all of these levels can act as support and resistance, right? Depending on the direction. Now, why I'm looking for a long from here if it starts to go up? So first thing is we will have an M pattern. If this level of 1844 is broken, then we will have like an M pattern. Okay. Another thing that can happen is that if the market starts to go higher where it is right now, because as I said, we have this structure here, right here, where it is standing. This is a structure level here. So if the market starts to go higher, I will follow exactly the same plan. So from here, 1853, 1858, 1865, and all that, right? So at each of these levels, right? So I am looking for long hair, and I will look for short below 1844. Okay, and from here long. Let me revise. Let me actually um, just say it once more so that it is clearer. Okay, so right now we are in a structure level. If I get a confirmation to go long, I will go long, and all of these white lines and white lines, horizontal lines basically will act as my resistance, hence my profit target levels. At each of these levels, I will reassess and see whether the market wants to still continue in the same direction. And if these resistances are actually playing out like actual resistances and they're trying to push the market down, I will look for short position. Okay, so each step can act as my profit target and a new opportunity level. If the market starts to go below 1844, and if I get a confirmation, I will go short all the way into this zone, which starts around 1837 and finishes around 1827, near about that, because in that case, it will form an M pattern, and when M pattern will complete, I will look for long positions again based on the confirmation. And if I go long, then 1844 will be my first profit target, second 1853, 1858. So each level again will act as my profit target and resistance level. And I will try to hold this position. If the market continues to give me confirmations like at each of these levels, I will try to hold this position in steps all the way to 1882. Now, when it reaches this zone or even higher than that, I'll be looking for short, because remember, I'm still favoring my short positions on gold. And the main reason behind that is overall structure is still bearish on weekly time frame. If I show you that, let me remove this. Okay, right now we still have this trend line running. Okay, this is why the market is going down, and that's why we are still favoring short positions. So if it goes slightly above this, it's still short. Okay, and we will continue to go short until it reaches the profit target of this W pattern, which is going to be near about this level, the mid of the W pattern, or even a little bit lower than that. So let me show you where that can be. Let me go back to the daily time frame and bring in the analysis. So that will be this structure level here. That's the liquidity zone. That's the mid of the W pattern. So near about 1834 and 18 27. So that's the same zone that I was just talking about. And from there, it can go back up. So that's the mid of the zone. And if that zone is also broken, then we are looking at lower levels around 1844, 1814. Actually, let me quickly measure it so that I can give you a better idea where it can go to. So near about 1806. Remember, if you have been following my analysis, 1806 is very, very important level. It has been very important level for a few months, so it can fall back down into there as well. So this is what we have in terms of trading plan. And let me show you another thing on on a lighter background, if you prefer that. So this is what I've been talking about in terms of trend lines. This is a trend line which is acting right now. There is another one which is running like this, and if I go to the daily time frame, the market is rejecting that trend line. And let me just adjust that a little bit. Okay, and if I go to the 4 hour time frame, this is what was happening. The market was like this. That's why I took a long position from here. Okay, and another trend line is happening like this. Hence the market fell down because of the higher time frame trend line and the smaller time frame trend line. And this is a possible M pattern if this structure is broken. If an M pattern will complete, I will go for a long, and I will try to hold this position for a longer period if it tries to go towards 1882, somewhere around here. But at each of these levels, I will be assessing my targets. If the market continues to fall down, then it can fall to the same level. You see that where M pattern completes, that's exactly where the midpoint of W is. That's what my plan is. Okay. So if you enjoyed this analysis, make sure to hit the like button and share it with other traders and trading communities. One of us, actually, one of the followers of the channel, profited hugely from this analysis, and he took my little request to help somebody. So he basically like fed near about 100 people in his local area, which is very, very good. So congratulations to that person, and it's very, very well done. I'm so happy for you, and I'm so glad that you did it, and I'm glad to be a little part of that as well. So thank you very much for that. So if you are um, if you are being helped by these analysis, if you're making money with this, or if you think that there is something that you can do in return to anyone in need, then you should do that. Please do that. Thank you. Thank you very much, and have a great trading week next week. Thank you for watching. Find and follow us on these social media channels.